We're going to load Pietta's 1851 Confederate Navy. This is a Colt replica. It's brass frame, 44 caliber. They never actually made a 44 caliber Navy, at least not to my knowledge. Couple disclaimers first. You will see me load the chambers on this directly out of a flask with a measuring spout on it. There are some that would say that is a very bad idea, and in some circumstances I can agree with them. I can assure you this gun is cold, it has no hot embers in it, but if you're new to loading, please don't load directly out of the flask. Don't take my example as the way it's supposed to be done in this particular instance. The other thing you'll note, I forgot my earplugs. But since I'm not going to drive all the way back to the house to get them, let's load this thing up, make some smoke, have some fun. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to run a set of caps through it, simply because it hasn't been fired since it was cleaned. I oiled the nipples, and we want to clear all the residual oil out of the nipples and out of the combustion chambers so that we don't have a possible misfire. The whole idea is to shoot them, not to work on them. You take care of them, you don't have to work on them. Once through ought to do it. Some people fire them through twice. I just do it once. I've never had any problem. Here again, we're loading directly out of the flask. As I said earlier, not recommended. It's been a while since this gun was shot. The chambers are cold. We don't have to worry about any hot embers. I put 16 grains of black powder in, GoX3F. This is approximately 20 grains of cornmeal. Seat the ball. On to the next one. It's a good idea to do each one of the chambers individually like this. If you go ahead and just charge all the chambers with powder at once, there is the possibility you could miscount, you could double charge. On most guns you would see it because the powder would overflow. On a brass frame gun like this, where you're loading such a light charge, you may not see it. As you can tell, it takes quite a bit longer to load one of these than a modern weapon. Back in the Old West, during the Indian Wars and the Mexican Wars and whatever else, those fighting those wars and using these guns for self-defense didn't necessarily sit and reload them during the heat of battle. They had more than one gun. As I like to say, they'd fire all the bullets, reach for another gun, fire all the bullets on that. When they ran out of guns, if they hadn't won yet, it was time to find a better hiding spot. Don't believe everything you see on TV and in the movies. So yeah, it takes a couple minutes to load it, but they are a lot of fun. My wife got me hooked on this a little over a year ago by buying me this particular gun for Christmas. Little did she know how seriously I would take it. Not that I'm a good shot. But it's a fun hobby, and the history is very interesting. Okay, all 6 of them are loaded. You've got powder, filler, and ball. I'm going to use a little bit of Crisco over the top of the chambers. The only thing that this does is act as a bullet lube. It's not there to prevent a chain fire. The first time this thing goes off, at least half of this stuff's going to get blown all over the place. And if you do use Crisco like this, and happen to be shooting slightly upwind, you'll find that before you can drive home, you're probably going to have to clean your glasses. Okay, got the Crisco all done. Just going to wipe this off real quick. All there is to it. Now we're going to take a capper and we're going to cap each one of the nipples. When you do this, please do not have the gun aimed at anything you value or a human. I've never had one go off, but the possibility is always there, because this cap is what does the job. In an accidental discharge, you don't want it pointed at yourself, your dog, your kids, or your car. I don't know how this shows on video, but it's not really pointed at the back of my Rhino. Once it's loaded, I'm going to lower the hammer between the cylinders. So we have Pietta's 1851 Colt Navy, Confederate Colt Navy replica, all loaded up, ready to shoot. A lot of people don't have a high opinion of this gun. That stems from the fact that it has a brass frame. All you have to do is load it light. In my opinion, it's a nice cheap gun to shoot. This thing has more than 1,000 rounds through it, and it's still tight, shoots fine, and it doesn't eat much. And as you can see, even with 16 grains of powder, makes a lot of smoke.